Right. So in today's session, we will learn some more action classes. So we have many action classes. Like let me take one. Okay. So it's not that only menu items we will get there. Okay. So you might get some of the actions classes like, so you can see here these are all different interactions. If you want to move this element to some other position, okay, how exactly we will be doing that, or I will take up this example, means drag this particular element into this particular element. Okay, there are two elements, one is drag me, this is the source and this is the destination. So if I try to drag and drop here, so how exactly we are going to handle these scenarios. Okay, so we'll look some of these drag and drop items. So let me create, right, so I will create a package for this so that we don't have any confusion. Action classes, drag and drop. Okay, so what's our, right, so which extends the base class, which extends the base class. I have to import the base class from the introduction. Okay, so once I do that, base class dot, init driver. Okay, this is public only. Let me see. Okay, just a minute, I'm passing the URL here. Let me take up this URL and I will pass that. So whether this works or not, should work, right? What's the error here?
Yeah, it should.
Okay, so that is web driver public class base class. Everything is public here. So this is accessible outside package also. So instead of base class, let me directly call init driver. That is not possible. Okay, what we did in handling. Okay, I think I don't have a method. Okay, so that's why I was not able to access that. So now base class dot init driver and then put that. So it should be accessed inside a method. That's why it was giving me the error message. So once I go there, okay, so what exactly I have to do, you have to understand this is the source and then this is the destination. So from I'm just dragging the source into destination. That's my entire activity I'm going to do here. So we need to understand what is the, or we need to get the XPath or ID of the source. You can see here the ID of this entire thing is draggable. Okay, so let me write down here web element. Okay, drag is equal to driver dot find element by dot XPath. Sorry, I will consider ID only. Okay, So what is the id? That is draggable. So this is the web element I am considering here. So similarly, so what is the next thing? That is another web element, that is okay, draggable and droppable. And what is the id for this drop element? That is droppable, right? So I will consider these two. So that is drag and drop. So how will I drag and drop? I cannot just click on the element and then I cannot simply drag and drop. So I need to use my actions class here. So for that, actions, okay, a is equal to new actions. Okay, so let me import actions. You can see here, this is the actions. This is the package of actions, org.openqa.selenium.interactions.actions, right? So why it is giving me the error? So actions constructor will accept either keyboard or WebDriver, or keyboard and mouse. So let me consider the WebDriver. So what is my WebDriver instance? That is driver. Okay, so since I have extended the base class, so I'm able to use the driver there, right? So once I do the action, so instead of a you can write action. So what is the action I'm performing? So that will be good. Dot, okay, I have one method in the action class, that is drag and drop. Okay, so that drag and drop method is a overloaded method, in the sense it accepts source and destination, or source and target, and it also accepts source and x and y coordinates. Okay, x and y coordinates, that is our point. Okay, so what is the source and to which x and y coordinate I have to drag that. So there are two overloaded methods. I will show you one, that is source to destination. You can use this x and y offset to drag only the source. Means the first method will drag the source into destination. Okay, the second method will drag the entire thing to some offset value, x and y coordinate. I will show you where exactly you can take that. So I will use drag and drop method. So I will pass drag here and I will pass drop here. Okay, so any action class should be having either build or directly perform. If you have one single action class, or one single action, directly you do perform, which internally does the build and then it performs. Okay, so where exactly you will find this drag and drop? You have to go to your Selenium HQ, right? seleniumhq.org, go to download, go to Java doc. Here I have actions class, right? This action class accept, right? uh, yeah, keyboard and mouse and WebDriver. I am considering this WebDriver. We will see how to use the keyboard operations. You can see here I have drag and drop, source and the destination. So that method I am trying to use here. So once you do the perform, okay, so what happens? So as per our expectation, this should be dragged and this should be dropped here. So let me run this. You might get these type of scenarios where you need to drag one element into another. So you should be able to do that in your code as and when it is required. You can see here, once the page loads, okay, it will not find that element. It will give me an error message because this entire thing, all this entire thing is inside a frame. So if I right click on this, you can see here this frame. So every element is inside a frame, so that's why it will not execute. This is not executing here. So what I have to do, I have to switch to frame. So which frame I have to switch, you can see here the frame name is demo frame, or you go to top window. In the top window, just identify this element. So below that element you will be having a frame. The frame class is demo frame. Okay, so let me copy that demo frame. You can see here it will give me an error message. Okay, I have closed it, that's why it is giving me unreachable. So once I load the page, the next thing is driver dot switch to frame. Okay, so which frame, that is I will use the class name method. So the frame has three overloaded methods. One frame will accept integer values. Another frame will accept these are indexes you can consider. Another frame will accept id as its id or name as its argument, or you can directly identify the constructor. You can directly write the web element. So I will write that inside that. So driver dot find element by dot you know class name. You can take class name because it has given class name there, right? So I am switching to that frame. Once I switch to that frame, I should be able to do drag and drop operation. So let me go here and run this. So sometimes it will give you an error message, element not found exception. Once you get that error message, you should check whether the element is there inside a frame or something. You can see here the operation is performed, in the sense this entire thing has dragged and dropped inside this particular element. Okay, so you'll get this kind of scenario where you need to drag and drop. So you should be able to do that, right? And the next thing is drag and drop, right? So drag and drop, and I'm not going to use the drop because I might not be having the destination, or I might be having the offset. So to some offset I have to drag and drop the thing. So to do that, right, so you can use either this draggable. Okay, so either this draggable, you go to this entire page, you will get many web elements. So you drag here to here. You can do this. I will show you one more item, that is resizable. Means I want to resize this element. I want to resize this element. So this I will show. What you can do is you can take this as an assignment. Just drag the entire element and put it in some offset. Resizable also I will use offset. I will show you right now. Okay, so let me put a divider. Okay, okay, drag and drop I have considered. So let me consider the same thing with resizable, or we'll write down in this only the resizable. So why to simply waste time on creating a class? I will put a divider here. So two operations will be performed. Okay, one is drag and drop. So I will add a sleep time, thread dot sleep. Okay, some 5 seconds sleep time I am adding here. Any doubts? You people are able to follow this? Because I am just considering that you know about these action classes and other things. I'm just trying to handle different items or different web elements so that you people will be familiar with them. Any doubts till this?
No.
Okay, yeah, because you should stop me if you have any doubt. So I'm just trying to explain some extra concepts today, or we'll cover extra concepts based on the assumption that you know about these action classes. Okay, so let me explain you about the resizable. So if I go to resizable, so this is the next link. So I have to navigate to this. So if you want to navigate, we have used right navigate dot to, correct? You can reuse those methods here instead of again and again loading driver.get, you can navigate to, so this entire page will navigate to the resizable page. Once it navigates, it should switch to this particular frame, because I have to every page they have developed in such a way that all elements or whatever, the entire pane I am working on here, this entire web element, this entire section is inside a frame. The entire section is inside a frame, so I am, that is a demo frame they have considered in this website. So I'm just trying to switch to that frame, right? So to you know just resize in this entire thing, I have two elements. One is this entire element. If I want to resize from the middle of this element, this is not possible. You can see here I'm trying to drag here, that is not possible. So what I have to do, I have to drag from here. Even from here it happens, or from here it happens. Okay, so that is resizable. In the sense I am trying to resize this, right? So for that I have to consider this element. They have given this resizable jQuery element, and you can use that element to resize that. Okay, so if I remove that, so it will give me the entire element. So there is a div which is of having 3. You can use that resizable element. Okay, so I will use this XPath. You can also try with the CSS selector and other things based on the class here. You can try with CSS selectors, right? So I will use XPath. The Z index is 90. Okay, so that's what they have given here. The Z index is 90. If you resize this, right? So either I will increase the X and Y coordinate, and then we will try to check whether it resizes or not, right? So how exactly I will do? Once again I have to create an action class. Since I have created an action class, I can use the same object here. Okay, I don't have to create one more object. I can use the same object, action dot. Okay, so what exactly I will be doing here? I will be clicking, what is the operation I will perform here, right? So I will be clicking on this particular element, and then I will you know uh, drag this particular element to some offset. So let us try that, right? I have one method, click and hold. If you want to click and hold any element, okay, so you can use that. So click and hold. So what this will do, it will click on that particular element and it holds the mouse like that. So that is click and hold. And then I have, so where exactly I have to click and hold? I have to click and hold on a particular web element. So that element is this div3. So I will write that here, driver dot find element by dot XPath, right? So on that particular element I will be clicking and holding. Dot, I have one more method, move by offset. I am clicking on this element and then I will just move the offset. Okay, so move by offset will accept, right, X and Y coordinates. So I will choose that particular method, move by offset. Okay, I will give 50 and 50, right? So you need to identify, I'm just randomly selecting the X and Y coordinates. So you need to identify where exactly which offset you need to move, and then you need to move in that particular offset. Okay, I'm just selecting a random value just to give a demo on how to move to the X and Y coordinates. So whatever X and Y coordinate in your project will be specified, you can specify that X and Y coordinate for any element to move that element, right? So here you can see, once I move to that particular offset, what exactly the manual operation I am doing. First I am clicking and holding on that, and then I will be moving that, and then I will release my mouse, correct? So click and hold should always be followed with release. Okay, dot I will do build here and I will complete this. So the entire, you can see here there are multiple actions I have performed. One is click and hold, another one is move to offset, and another one is release. All these compound operations have been built here. So I have to store that in an interface called action A. So this is an interface where I will be performing I will be storing all the compound operations here. All these three compound operations have been built into this particular action class. So what is that action interface? You can see here action. It's an interface. Interface representing a single user interaction action. So it is used for storing all the compound actions. So that's how we are going to store compound actions here. Once I build this, I can simply do a dot perform. Sometimes there will be a scenario like you might have to use these compound actions multiple times on that particular element. Then you store that inside an action, and then a dot perform will perform the entire operation whatever I am trying to do here. So let us see whether it will resize or not. So let me put a sleep time just for your understanding or checking whether it will resize or not. So let me run this again. So first it will do drag and drop, and then it will navigate to resizable. It waits for 3 seconds, and then you can see the entire thing has been resized. So this is how you will be working on these different elements like draggable. I want you to try all these things. So I have shown you click and hold and other things for resizable. For draggable, you can drag and drop into some other offset. That is this method. So what is the method? Drag and drop web element, which source, and then which source, and then which offset. You can try with the draggable. Here you have only source, you don't have destination, then you use this method. If you have source and destination, then you use this method. And then if you want to just click and hold on some element, and then if you want to move that element to some other thing, then you can use click and hold method, right? So that's about drag and drop and click and hold. So now we will look into one very important thing here, that is slider. There are many operations. You can see sortable. What you can do, you sort these items. It is similar to drag and drop. You can drag this item on top of this item or on one. Once you drag on one, one is dragged on two, right? One is dragged on two, it will drag and drop there. So you try this. If you don't get, I will explain how to do that, because if you know how to drag and drop, this is the source and 2 is the destination, and then it will sort the entire item here. That is sortable. So similarly you have selectable. So if you click on this, the items will be selected, and then if you drag all these items, then all the items will be selected. Try these things. Now using the same methods, you can try. You can see here everything should be selected, right? So how exactly you will perform? You can how will you select all the items? That's the question here. Selecting one item is just click on that, but how will you select all the items? So you try this. okay if you don't get, I will explain. Okay, any doubts here in the drag and drop and resizable?
No.
Okay, so the concepts are clear, right? Because you will face all these different types of elements in your project, so you should be familiar with how to handle these things. The next thing is slider, right? So this is a slider, and I will select this one, the third item. Okay, whenever I slide on this, or whenever I slide this, my value is getting incremented. My value is getting incremented. So how will I test that? Means how will I move this slider up to 40, or how will I move that up to 20? That's the question here. Okay, so this is one more web element, so we should understand how to handle that web element. Let me go here and then let me take the slider, and then custom handle where I have this. Okay, so first let me navigate to this, right? So I will take the same thing. This is a bit tricky. Okay, this is a bit tricky. Can you just try to work out, or can you just analyze how we can do this? In the meantime, I will build this code. How we can do that? Any idea, or anything you will get out of whatever examples we have considered? Okay, I'm switching the frame, and then I will use the same actions class. So how will we do this? Any idea how we are going to handle this? Because I have to stop at 20.
The move set will not work.
Sorry,
Move set.
which function? Move offset.
Yeah.
Okay, so how will you identify which offset? Because you understand the query here, my question here. I can move forward and backward, but I should stop at 20. So how will you come to know I should stop at 20?
Okay.
That's the entire thing here. How will you stop at 20?
No, I'm not sure.
Shashi, any idea? Okay, so let us understand this first. Let me identify this element. The id is custom handle. Okay, so let me create an element here, where element custom handle is equal to driver dot find element. Means I am storing that particular element in a string by id, and then this. Okay, so custom handle, so I'm storing that in this. So next thing is, one thing you need to understand here is, I will be moving like this. It is an iterative process. Is it correct? I have to move like this, and then every time I move one, or I increment one, for example this is 0, every time I increment one, it should verify the value, and then I should stop this. So every time I increment 1, I should verify the value. Every time I increment 1, I should verify the value. Okay, so to increment by 1, okay, you can see, if I do, from mouse, if I increment, sometimes it goes beyond 1. So for that I have one more operation. Your right arrow is there, right? Just click on this particular element, and then click on right arrow. It will increment by 1. So every time you move that particular element by 1, okay, you have to verify the text inside this, whether it is equals to 20 or not. You're understanding this? Okay, so we are coming at a resolution where every time I increment by 1, I will be checking whether the value is incremented or value is equal to 20 or not. How will I do that? So before I do that, first let me get the location of this. What is the location? Okay. So how will you get the location of this particular element? How will you get the points or x and y coordinates of this particular element? What is the method to get the x and y coordinates? What is the method to get x and y coordinates of any element? I think we have covered that, right? Yeah, what is the method? Any idea what is the method? That's a very basic one. How will I get custom handle this web elements location, in the sense what is the offset? I have a method get location, right? So get location will return me x and y coordinate, that is it will return me point, the entire x and y coordinate of that. Okay, this is the get location method. Once I do that, so if I run this, it will give me the location of it, just for your information in which location it is there. First those two will continue, and then I will be going to the third one. So it resizes, and the third one is custom handle. You can see here, to get the location, you can see -1 and 3. This is the location of that particular web element. Okay, so now the location as of now is in matter for us. What I am going to do here is I am going to add a counter. Okay, int counter is equal to -1, right? So int counter is equal to -1, and then I am going to create a while loop, while true. While the condition is always true, what I am going to do here is I am going to use the action class action dot, right, click on the web element. So on this element I am clicking. Just understand this, then you will understand everything. And I have a method send keys. In this send keys method, I can send, okay, the keyboard interface keys dot arrow right, keys dot arrow right dot perform. Okay, so what I am trying to do here is, first first I have to locate the element. So to locate the element, I am just going to click on this. Once I click on this, the element will be selected, and then click on right arrow, the element will be moved. So this is how you can test the sliders. These sliders will come in e-commerce applications. When you try to check the range of values or range of amount, the range between 10 and 1000 rupees to 5000 rupees, then you can use sliders. You might have observed there are a range of sliders. First you need to understand how the basic slider can be tested. So the first thing what I have done is, first, okay, as per my manual operation or action, I am just clicking on that. If I don't click, I am pressing right arrow, that element is not moving. First I have to click on this element, and then I have to click on right arrow. So the first operation is, first action is click on that particular element and then click on right arrow. Okay, so what I am trying to do, the while loop will be executed multiple number of times. Okay, while loop will be executed multiple number of times because I am adding a true here. Every time it is true, it is executed. So if I add true here, until I break out of the loop, it keeps on executing. So first what I did, in the first iteration I have clicked on right arrow, so it will click only once. In the sense, first it will click on this and then it clicks right arrow only once. The value will be 1. Okay, so how will I check the value here? How will I check the value from this particular web element? Okay, the web element dot get text, web element dot get text value is equal to web element dot get text. So I will display the value here. I will display the value. Any doubt here till this? You don't worry about this counter. So we will come to that, or we can skip that in this scenario. Any doubt here till now? This particular compound action.
No.
So that is clear, right? So if I complete this, if I give an assignment, you will be able to handle that slider. That's what I am looking at. Okay. So here I am,
Yeah.
what is my intention is up to 20. Okay, if the value, if value dot equals, ignore case, is 20, then you can break out of the loop. I am just displaying the value here and then I am breaking out of the loop. Means I have moved my slider up to 20. But ideally, what happens, you can break out of the loop, and in any other scenario, or if you consider some e-commerce websites, once you move the slider up to $20, okay, or 20 rupees or $20, then you can check whether the items are displayed between that range or not. You can check, cross verify couple of items and then whether those items are displayed or not. So that is one scenario you can consider. Here as of now I am breaking out of the loop, and once I break out of the loop I can execute other statements here. Okay, any other statement is there, I can continue my testing. So this is very important. Okay, how you are going to handle these sliders, because you will come across sliders in many applications, especially in e-commerce applications, or especially when you have something to check with a range of values. So let me run that. You can see here it continues and it stops at 20. So you are able to follow the output, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you don't have any condition inside the while loop, and if you are performing some action inside that, and then you are breaking at some point, you can always pass through. And in my output you can see here the value has started from 1 and then the value has ended at 20, and at the end the whatever statement I have to continue with is executed. So this is how you are going to handle the sliders, right? So in this I have some range sliders here, range sliders. When I drag these sliders, right, when I drag these sliders, the values are changing here. So I want you to write a program to check the value between $100 to $400, or we will see what is the initial value here, the range slider 75 to 300. So this 75 you can increase up to 100, and then you can increase this 300 to 500, right? So will you be able to do this? So first you need to increment this, and then you need to increment that, or you can consider a decrement scenario also, right? So you people will be able to do this.
Yeah.
Any doubt or any problems here, because you take this thing, you have many web elements, and similarly we have uh, I have seen some checkbox and radio buttons. If you don't get checkboxes and radio buttons, you are having checkboxes and radio buttons here. Try to click on these multiple radio checkboxes and these radio buttons, right? Just for your practice, you have all of them here, right? So try to work out on these things also, right? So if you don't have any icons, so the different options are there. So whether you have checkbox or here you don't have the icons, directly you will be clicking on them. So everything matters here. So you know just try to work out on these things also.